Okay, so now we're going to do some equation questions or problems. Okay, so what we have to first do is if 12x equals -8 distributed to 10 minus x, then what is x? So all we're doing is solving for x. So our job is to get the x on one side by itself. Okay, so what we're going to first do is distribute this. And so now we've got -8 times 10, positive 10, so that's a -80. And then -8 times -x turns into a positive 8x equals 12x. Now what we got to do is get the x's on one side. Got to get rid of this. So we're going to go -8x on both sides. Cross that out. 12 minus 8 is 4x equals -80. Okay, if you need a calculator, you can use it and divide by 4. So that's, we started with rule number 2, and then we went to rule number 1. And now it's x equals -20. And our -20 is right here, so that's the answer. Okay, so the next one, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to distribute that out and then add the x. So it's 2 times x would be 2x minus 2 times -12. If you don't know that, do it on your calculator. And then plus x equals 336. Now we're combining a few things, right? We got to get our like terms together. Remember, if you don't remember the x, just stick a 1 there if that helps you. Put the 2x plus the 1x is 3x minus 24 equals 36. Okay, now remember, our job is to get the x by itself. So what we're going to do is go plus 24 plus 24. Okay, that turns into 60. Again, use your calculator if you don't know that. 3x, then divide by 3, divide by 3. You're going to be x. Again, use your calculator. X equals 20. Okay, and so your answer is going to be that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is the next one. X to the second plus 4 equals 29. Okay, we got to get the x by itself. -4 minus 4. X to the second equals 25. Okay, now that we know what x to the second is, we got to plug it in here. So now we got 25 minus 4 equals what? 21. That's our answer. Right there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go back and use our PERT reference sheet because this is the number 4 rule. Okay. So what we want to do is, it's saying k is equal to the value of 40. So what we're going to do is 40 equals 75j plus 54. Okay, so what we got to do is get j by itself, minus 54. Don't be intimidated by that fraction, minus 40. Or 54, excuse me, 54. So we got minus 14. Use your calculator if you need it. 7/5 j. Now, if we're using this reference sheet, it's number 4 rule. If a fraction is connected to the letter, flip the fraction to eliminate and multiply by the same fraction on the other side. So in this case, we're going to go 5/7. So 35 over 35 equals 1. We get rid of it, and now we just have j by itself. But now we have to times it by 5/7. Okay, remember, a whole number, just put a 1 underneath, and we're just going to times it out. What's 5 times 14 is a -70 over 7. A 70 over 7 is 10, right? So it's a -10. Up right there's the answer. Okay, so -10. Okay. This number 4, I accidentally put it on there twice because it's the same as up here, so we're not going to do that one. Okay, now, I'm glad we're doing this because this is a super easy question, and you'll see that we have 2 of them that you'll be able to practice on it. So, when you see anything equal to 0, you put each of these equal to 0. So it's going to be 2x plus 5 equals 0. And all you're doing is solving for x. And then you got 3x minus 4 equals 0. So what we got to do is go negative 5 minus 5. So now you got 2x equals minus 5. Divide by that 2 to get x by itself. And there's your answer for that one. Same thing here, plus 4 plus 4. Now we got 3x equals 4. Divide by 3, divide by 3. That's your answer. So you got 4/3 and negative 5 over 2, and that would be this one right here in the middle. Okay, so ironically, here's another example of it, right? Anything like that, looking like this, split them apart and make each piece equal to 0, and then just solve for x. It's super easy. So it'd be x plus a equals 0, and x plus b equals 0. Okay, so now we're going to go minus a minus b minus b. So x equals negative a, x equals negative b. So put a and b, negative a and negative b. Okay. So on this number, this one right here, what we're doing is we got to FOIL that one out. Okay. So what we're doing is we got to put x and x. And then we got to figure out what two numbers multiplied together is going to give us negative 30. But then if those same two numbers are added, it's going to be a plus 1, right? We're going to put a 1 in front of that x so we know that it's 1. So what two numbers equal 30? It can't be 1 times 30 because that difference is not 1. And it can't be 3 times 10. Can't be 2 times 15. It can be 5 times 6 though, right? 5 times 6. So it would have to be a negative 5 and a positive 6. Okay, but look at this, okay? We're getting the sum of the two solutions of the equation. So remember, we've got to now do x minus 5 equals 0 and x plus 6 equals 0. Okay, so then we got to go plus 5 and minus 6 minus 6. So we got x is 5 and negative 6. We're going to sum those two together and we're going to get negative 1. So it's going to be C on this one. Okay. And those are just, and we got one more equation question that we can do right here. All right, let's do that one. Which of the following XY pairs is the solution for the system of equations? Okay, so remember what I said before. It's always X comma Y. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to plug and chug. I call it plug and chug. So I'm going to put in negative 2 for X and positive 3 for Y, and let's see if it works out. So negative 2 plus 3 times 2 is 6 equals 4. Okay, that one works, right? Now let's try it over here. Negative 2 times negative 2 plus 3. So negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4 plus 3 equals 7. Okay, so in this case, now I'm going to give you a little clue on the ACT. If it's got a lot of working out, always start with A, because if it's a lot of work, remember, you're expected to do 60 questions in 60 minutes. So these aren't going to be hard, extremely hard questions. So they're not going to make you do all of them down to D. It's probably not going to be D, because you'd have to go through all of this to figure out. So in these cases, always start with A, because it's probably going to be that one that when you have to plug and chug and plug them in and see which one works, you have to make sure it works on this one and it works on this one. So it has to work for both. It's usually going to be A, just an FYI on that. Okay. So this is it for equation problems, and we will see you in the next part.